is physical, mental, spiritual. Zealous Wellness with Mike Hollis.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Zealous Wellness with Mike Hollis. Football is still going. My Jaguars are not, and my Bills are not. A lot of people don't realize I played for the Bills 1 year, so I kind of consider myself a Bill a little bit. Not when the Bills played the Jaguars, though. I was here for 7 years and definitely want to, support my local team because I live here too, and I'm obviously more biased towards the Jaguars and Bills, but they're both out. So I've got, I guess, maybe my Seahawks I can root for now because I grew up in the Northwest. I was a Seahawks fan, I guess, back in the day, but they weren't very good. So I really wasn't that big of a fan. And I grew up in Spokane, which was on the opposite side of Washington State. So I never even made a game. I just watched them on TV a bunch. But they're playing really well, very well. If you saw that game the other night, they beat up, they put a whooping. They really did a good job. So definitely. And then, of course, don't forget, national championship game tonight, Miami and Indiana. So definitely a incredible game there. I'm sure, honestly, when I watch really good college football teams, and I'm telling you, both those teams are really good, you really consider like they're NFL caliber teams, for the most part, but they're really high, scoring, high energetic. I don't know. I remember an LSU game years ago. I think it was the LSU Ohio State game. And I was just floored about how good these guys were. It's like, man, they were hitting and running. They're extremely fast. I mean, it was just incredible. So definitely going to watch that game tonight. So looking forward to that. So let's get into it. Today we're going to talk about an actual product that was just released by a company called 3 International that I'm associated with. But more importantly, it's a natural form of what they call GLP-1s. Now, we're going to talk about GLP-1s. I'm still learning a little bit about some of the significance of the actual products out there. There's a lot of them. And again, when you say GLP-1, I don't want your mind to immediately go to Ozempic or all those other ones out there they're not good. There's a lot of weird stuff going on with Ozempic, and there's a big lawsuit, I think, with that, of course. But people are experiencing way too much loss. Now, when I say loss, I'm talking about, definitely fat loss, but also muscle loss and bone loss, and people are losing vision. There's all kinds of really bad problems, but primarily it's because it's a synthetically made GLP-1. So I'm going to talk about a naturally produced GLP-1 from our product, or from our company called 3 International. So with that in mind, you definitely want to learn about it, learn as much as you can about it. And now this is not an injectable either. That's another thing that people are afraid of, is actually sticking a needle in their belly or in their arm, which I can understand. It doesn't bother me at all. I take peptides every day. NAD plus and some Orlin. So I'm on the I'm not on GLP-1s, but I did order the product from our company, and definitely excited to see what this product does for me. But with that said, we're gonna hear a little word from our sponsor, which happens to be 3 International. So when we get back, we'll get right into the GLP-1 craze.
At 3, we want to give you the true health benefits that you're paying for. Something you can feel and see a difference quickly. Each product is packed with powerful plant-based nutrients that are combined through a proprietary curation process and then infused with innovative cellular absorption technologies to ensure the nutrients absorb into the cells for maximum wellness. The quality and effectiveness of our life-changing products is evident by their approval to be included in the well-known Prescriber's Digital Reference, or PDR. PDR has been a valuable resource to the medical doctors and providers in the healthcare community for decades. Our products are GMO-free, clinically studied, and third-party tested, all designed to support health and proactive wellness for everyone.
And welcome back. We got some people in the show tonight. I'm going to say hi to David and Kenneth as well. And then also my guy, Jim Coffey, who's in the company 3 International with me. And Jim's got some incredible testimonies with regards to what 3 International has done for his health. He had stage 4 liver cirrhosis of the liver I believe, something like that. Jim, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a lot of good things that these products have helped him with. A lot of his blood work has changed quite a bit in the 2.5 years or so that he's been involved with the company and taking the product. So with this new GLP-1 product, it's actually called GLP-3 with regards to our company name 3. So it is a product that our chief scientific officer, Dan Gubler, has formulated. And if you know anything about 3 International, I've talked about 3 International in the past before. Very holistic, very all natural, and getting a lot of the natural substances from trees and plants and bark, and they even study the slime underneath the snail. What's in that, everything on earth, how can this help the human body? And that's what Dan Gubler does. He's got a team of scientists that travel the world and look for phytonutrients that have never been discovered before. So I think that's really cool. I'm a very big fan of the holistic health. And I don't want to clearly take a lot of the pharmaceutical. I don't take any, honestly, but I think pharmaceutical industry has a hold on a lot of people. A lot of people are dependent on pharmaceuticals, and it never used to be like that. And we never had all the diseases like we do now. And so they're in here to save the day. But again, it's just Band-Aids for chronic problems that they probably caused in the first place. I say they, but I'm referring to processed foods and in our food sources, and where we're, all these things, toxins, chemicals, all these kind of things that we're consuming on a daily basis, whether we know it or not, are causing a lot of health issues. And getting into more detail about health issues with regards to GLP-1 and what it can do for you. Obesity. People talk about people overweight. Clearly, we're the heaviest country in the world right now. You look at pictures of people back in the day, they're skinny, they're active, they're outside, they're in the sun. It's another thing. People are afraid of the sun for some reason these days, and we're eating a bunch of crap. And so looking at pictures of people today versus back in the day in the 60s, 70s, even before then, big difference. And it shows with the statistics about our health. And as a nation, we are the sickest country in the world. But yet we're the richest country in the world. Yet we're the most, Big Pharma is the biggest company in the world. Or, there's all kinds of contrasting things that we're like, well, how are we the sickest country in the world? But yet we got the most, drugs that are supposed to help us with these things. It's a huge cycle. I've talked about this before. I don't want to get wrapped up in talking about that, because I'll get a little overwhelmed and probably a little bit upset, because I don't like it. Even when I look up in the skies, and again, I don't know what you guys think about the whole, these contrails, or they, what are they? Well, they're chemicals, or aluminum. There's all kinds of stuff in there that these planes are spraying in our skies. You look in pictures years ago, and it was never like that. I never saw streaks of airplane condensation, after, when they're flying over, like, oh, there's an airplane, there's the streak it left for hours and hours. No. That wasn't the case back in the day. So I know there's a lot of things that have changed these days, but we're advancing in science and in certain ethical aspects. I think there's a lot of non-ethical and greedy things out there that people are making a lot of money on. And so I think that money has overpowered a lot of our common sense, in the sense where, what's ethical, what's moral, so we got to watch out for that. And it just makes it a little bit more of a job and a challenge for us as human beings here in the United States to pick and choose what we want to put in our body, and just know. And that's really the thing, is we got to know, you have to educate yourself and understand what it is that's you're putting in your body, and how can that affect you over the long term. The chronic diseases are just rampant right now, and it's accumulation of years and years and years of bad food decisions. But again, our hands are kind of tied with regards to going to your store. I always say this before. I say, listen, if you go to a grocery store and there's a health food section in the grocery store, what does that make the rest of the store? It's 90% of the store is junk at that point then. So, wow, I better just hang out in the health food section, or the fruits and vegetables section. And even then, you got to, think about where it's coming from and how many pesticides are on those, and did they clean them? And they put stuff on apples. I think American apple are banned in other countries because we put this waxy preservative over the apple that is toxic. Have you ever scraped an apple with a knife before you eat it? Try it sometime. Just scrape the apple, the outside of the apple, and see what you come up with. It's wax. It's just junk. Okay. So ultimately, with going back to my point with GLP-1, in obesity, there's a huge problem here. Over 45% of our world's population is considered obese or overweight. Okay, and obesity is a increased risk of all these chronic diseases I keep mentioning and so forth. So, obesity is really a metabolic condition. With regards to, and a reason I'm kind of stubborn, I'm thinking of Oprah. So Oprah Winfrey just recently got on The View, or I don't know where she. I think The View. I don't know. She's talking about obesity being genetic, and I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't think it is. I think it's a metabolic condition, and that a lot of people can have over time because of the foods we're eating. Of course, there are people out there that work out and they diet, but sometimes it doesn't work for them. But so it kind of, it all comes down to like the individual's metabolism and gene expression, things like that. So there's a lot of things that really affect the kind of metabolism that happens in our bodies and really separates the people that can lose weight and the people that cannot. And so with GLP-1, now there's last 15 years has been a big, they kind of discovered it about 15 years ago. I'll go into that in a second, but GLP-1 helps with, blood sugar levels, insulin sugar levels, things like that. With regards to, I actually have a video I'm going to show you, but it's going to explain a little bit. It's not too long; it's just a couple minutes long. But I'm going to pull out some key points from that and some more, and give you kind of an idea. And it's kind of a learning tool for GLP-1, a quick learning tool, but also with regards to our product, of course, I'm going to definitely mention that because I think it's an awesome opportunity to see what these natural GLP-1 products can do for you. So without further ado, let's show that video real quick, and then we'll get back right into the GLP-1 3.
The GLP-1 wave. Unless you've been living under a rock for the last 5 years, you've heard of GLP-1. GLP-1 stands for glucagon-like peptide 1, and it's a small molecule. It's a peptide, and it binds to a receptor in the body called the GLP-1 receptor. So GLP-1 has been phenomenal. It's transformed human health. There's a lot of really interesting studies coming out showing that targeting GLP-1 can help to support brain health levels. It can help to support healthy bones. And there's a lot of other research coming out. So GLP-1 is an amazing target, has good science behind it, and there are synthetic GLP-1 agents out there. There's a few issues with that though. Several of the problems with synthetic GLP-1s, number one, loss of lean muscle mass. So people, not only are they losing weight, but they're losing muscle with it. We're also seeing a lot of nausea, constipation, hair loss, and there's also a lot of other side effects. We're proud to announce that after many years and a lot of research, we are launching GLP-3. This is a brand new peptide that binds to the GLP-1 receptor. What you need to know and understand about this product is it's Mother Nature's GLP-1. We found peptides from Mother Nature that bind to the GLP-1 receptor. So it's not just one synthetic peptide, it's a complex of natural peptides. And these peptides come from salmon living deep in the Norwegian Sea, and it also comes from mushrooms. Does it contain synthetic ingredients? No. It's all natural, non-GMO, free of heavy metals, pesticides. This peptide complex is the first natural peptide to bind directly to the GLP-1 receptor. And if I stop taking GLP-3, will the weight come back? It won't. There's no rebound effect seen with GLP-3. This discovery, this innovation, it's new, it's unique, it gets us out of the insanity cycle and can help to provide you the results that you need and want.
There you go. So just a little quick information about GLP-1 and then a little bit about GLP-1 3, our actual product, of course. And so you kind of saw some of the benefits of GLP-1: cardiovascular health, gut health, liver health, even brain health. There's a lot of other things other than just the reducing of the appetite and actually the food noise. Food noise is nothing more than just the addiction, which I've talked about in other episodes, where food companies are hiring scientists to make their foods addictive. that just blows my mind. Just like the cigarette companies, they hire the same kind of scientists to come in and make the foods addictive, just like cigarettes used to be, or are, I guess. I couldn't tell you the last time I saw someone with a cigarette in their mouth. But anyway, so you understand kind of the significance of GLP-1s and what they do. However, what you may not realize is the synthetic GLP-1s have a lot of bad side effects. Okay, so there's a lot of things that muscle mass loss, that nausea, constipation, hair loss, and many more issues that, like I mentioned before, the Ozempic and what it's doing. So I'm telling you, anything that's made synthetically anymore, I always cringe. I'm like, I don't trust it at all. First off, what are the side effects? If you watch TV, and just talking about pharmaceutical products again, when you see the commercials, how much time do they have on the commercial to spend on all the side effects? I laugh every time I start to hear their long list of side effects. It takes up like half the commercial. And you are comfortable taking something like that with all those side effects? It's crazy. I mean, it's just like, and of course, obviously with this holistic craze and everything that I'm really a big fan of, because it's all natural. God put us on this earth to consume things and things that are around us that we can actually use to heal our bodies. So the body's supposed to heal itself naturally. And we as humans have stepped in and crossed that line between humanity and what God meant for us, and now throwing these scientific things out there and all these synthetic things that have maybe more side effects than the actual benefit of them itself. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that you're going to start hearing some things about Ozempic and the people who have been on it for a long time, and how many really bad health issues they've have been having from those products. And so all natural is something I'm looking for. And that's why I pride myself in trying to find natural products that are naturally doing things naturally in our bodies. Peptides, of course, are cause our bodies to do natural things, healing and weight loss and things like that, of course. And so you think about like the discovery of GLP-1s, like I said, 15 years ago, scientists kind of discovered that something was happening in the body. They would inject somebody with high insulin, or I'm sorry, high glucose, and then they would have that same person, and they test the blood level, whatever, and they have the same person eat the same amount of glucose through the body. And they discovered that the person that had the glucose, or the food or whatever they ate, they saw a lot lower levels of blood sugar in their body. So they knew something was happening between that and then the injected one that didn't go through the body to be used prior to that. So we know, through the pancreas or whatever that's causing it, it's the GLP-1 and the GLP-1 receptors. And so the synthetic GLP-1s that have been made, they will attach to those GLP-1 receptors, but they're synthetic again. And we talked about all these side effects from the synthetic things as well, the synthetic GLP-1s. Natural GLP-1 is used in the body. It degrades very rapidly. So it's reoccurring in the body. It's already there naturally, but the synthetics, they don't really do well with that. Okay, so with regards to the natural stuff from like 3 International, our GLP-1 3, the kind of the consensus is the fact that they also attach to those GLP-1 receptors, but they're longer lasting and they're more effective because they are natural again. So again, when you talk about vitamins, and these companies are making these synthetic vitamins that are kind of close in cellular sort of structure, but they're not perfect. So sometimes the body rejects them and they don't recognize them. They're not perfect. It's the same kind of thing with these, because they're molecules too. They're peptides, of course. So GLP-3 is the first natural GLP-1. It's like Dan Gubler said, it's the Mother Nature's GLP. And I don't know if you saw there, but they talked about the MBC 267, and that's our patented GLP-1. Is basically the GLP-1 product, or within that actual GLP-1 3 product. And so, and it consists of 267 different natural products, of course, or natural peptides. Okay. So you're ingesting this, and it's a dropper. It's a liquid dropper in a tincture, and it's not a shot. Okay. So again, you think about the quality and the absorption. if you've listened to my episodes before, these podcasts before, with regards to 3 International, what it's really specializes in, not only is just holistic, all natural products, but they are also, we specialize in cellular absorption delivery technologies, of course. So we have technologies within these products that actually enhance the absorption rate, like it was injected into the bloodstream. So it bypasses all those things and actually gets used. Okay, so we have that same technology within this GLP-1/3 product that we're hopefully, I ordered some a week ago or so, but they're a little bit on back order because it's a brand new product and a lot of people are talking about. The ones that were at like an event recently were able to get their hands on it, and those ones are already talking about losing a lot of weight. And again, with this whole natural concept of this GLP-1/3 product, I'm not afraid of it because it is all natural. It's not synthetically made. I'm not a big fan of side effects, clearly. So I definitely want to make sure that I'm taking the right stuff that I know that's going to work. And so I haven't tried it personally, so I can't give you any personal testimonies on it. Yeah, I'm not obese or overweight as far as I know. I don't think, but I do have some belly fat. I do have some fat that I could use to lose, of course. And so I definitely want to, try it. I'm always interested in trying products that it may have a chance of helping me, and I'm pretty optimistic about this one, of course. So, with that said, I just want to let you guys know that there are natural products out there that we are now discovering and now having access to, when you don't have to go to the synthetically made products out there. Again, there's a lot of issues that a lot of people have with synthetically made products, and it's a shame that it comes down to that. And really, if you think about it, it goes back to that whole greed and that power, thing with regards to having, cheap products that are synthetically made versus the real actual product. So there's a lot of products out there that have done really well for people, and they decided, well, that's too hard, it's too expensive to formulate and all that. So we're just going to make our cheap vitamins. Like I said before, that's why they went to the cheaper vitamins, because they discovered it was a lot cheaper to, instead of making it out of all 100% plant material, they decided they're just going to make a little bit of plant material, but then also synthetically make some other stuff within those as well. And so that makes it a little hard for our body to actually recognize and absorb and so forth. So with regards to just, GLP-1 in general, you got to really make sure that you know exactly what you're consuming. And again, I don't know if you've noticed, the FDA is now having to require, this black box label on certain things, these, vaccines and things like that. I remember when COVID was around, no one could see the insert, even the doctors, they would open it up and it was all blank. Again, call me conspiracy theorist or not, but if you haven't discovered yet, there was a lot of really, nasty stuff going on with that COVID and the vaccines themselves. And I think it's all going to catch up to a lot of big, huge corporations that lied to us or deceived us in any way, because again, it's our body we're talking about. And the one other vaccine I'm just thinking about is that hepatitis shot that a lot of people, were cringing about. Like, why would I give my baby hepatitis shot when, it's a sexually transmitted, whatever it is, there's a lot of, my baby's not going to have it, or whatever, but there's a black box label warning on that as well. So there's a lot of things that are coming out now that we're having to kind of, I'd say these companies are having to backtrack and have a little come to Jesus, with regards to, all these things that are all these problems that are being discovered out there. So make sure that the things that you're putting in your body's your temple. You've only got one of them. You've only got one lifetime, we'll say, here on earth. You only have one body, okay? And, God put us on this earth to protect our bodies, to take care of our bodies. Our body is our temple, okay? We need to understand, we need to be as healthy as we can to live and experience as much as we possibly can. And I said in the last episode, I said it's going to be a lot cheaper. Your health care now is going to be a lot cheaper than if you buy a bunch of, eat a bunch of processed food and go to fast foods all the time. And in the long run, your chronic diseases will be so bad in the long run that your health care is going to be so expensive back then, at the time you get older and you have all these problems now. And so it's a very difficult thing for people to understand sometimes, because again, we're addicted to these crappy foods. And with regardless if you have diet pills, maybe GLP-1 craze will be gone in 10, 20, 30 years from now, whatever, but there will be something else in the meantime that we're going to be exposed to that could help and all that. But I'm not knocking the GLP-1 thing, because it is a naturally occurring thing in our bodies, and we've got the natural product to support that as well. So keep that in mind when you're looking at GLP-1s, and also don't forget about the other benefits of them: cardiovascular health, and the liver health, and the gut health, and brain health even. So there's a lot of different benefits to those as well. And you saw Dr. Gubler talking about the sources that the GLP-1/3 product comes from. Salmon in the Norwegian area, and also mushrooms. And so there's different peptides within that one product, not just the GLP-1, but it's comprised of 267 different natural peptides, of course. So take that into consideration when you're looking for your peptides. And again, you go to zealouswellness.com. I've got some information on there with regards to 3 International that could direct you right towards the GLP-1 product. And take a look at it and see what you think. And I can definitely supply you with more information if you're interested, and we can go from there. But definitely, if you're like me, you're definitely looking for things that will help you and live as long as you possibly can with as least amount of health issues as you possibly can. We can't avoid some of these things with the toxins and poisons and things in our waters. We're getting better with that. I think they're getting rid of fluoride, I believe, in the water here in Florida. I think we always used to think that fluoride was good for the teeth, but it does more than that in a negative way. And so I think we're figuring that stuff out now and getting these things out of our system. And bottom line, guys, it's our health problem in the United States. I clearly believe it was on purpose. I really do. I think that we have a lot of unethical, greedy institutions out there that teach us the wrong things. The Rockefellers, I'll just name a few. Those guys changed the way we thought about education even. And just again, look at the food pyramid. We talked about that a couple episodes ago, and how it just flipped backwards. Like the things that they want us to eat less of, we're now saying we'll eat more of. Like, that's kind of weird. And again, so, do your research and kind of get involved with foods, because it is your life we're talking about. How long do you want to live? How long do you want to see your children get married? You want to, there's a lot of things that we want to live a long life for. And I'm sad that there are a lot of things that shorten our lives, not just by accidents and things like that, but just the prolonged issues we're having with our bodies later on in life because of things like these processed foods and stuff that make us obese and overweight. And our hands are tied in somewhat of a sense, where we kind of only have access to the things that are produced by these companies sometimes. And sometimes the cost could be an issue as well. Some people can't afford, healthier foods. Yeah, it might be a little bit more expensive. But like I said, in the long run, your healthcare is going to be a lot cheaper in the long run if you take care of your body now, today. So with that said, I'm going to let you guys go and enjoy that football game tonight, national championship game. Take care. Watch that game, and hope you guys have an awesome evening. Love you guys. We'll see you next Monday night at 5:30 on Zealous Wellness with Mike Hollis. Thanks.
Thank you for watching Zealous Wellness with Mike Hollis. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you next time.